I legit don't know what to play here. Okay, whatever. Hello, hello. Hope everyone had a good weekend. What's going on, y'all? Alright, let's see what we're going to get today. I'm optimistically bullish. I do think we're going to sweep a bit lower here and then kind of go back up towards that 670, 671 area. Let's see if we ended up doing that or not. I do think it's pretty likely that we go down here towards 666.57 and then go up towards that higher end there. I'd be very interested in playing the reversal. If we don't close below 666.57, I'll probably get calls. If we do close below that, I want to get the 664, 663 puts or whatever it is. I do have some calls for Friday this week. I got 680 calls and 684s apparently. I didn't know I got both of them, but it is what it is. And we'll see where that ends up on the S&P 500. QQQ, the put wall is at 590. Oh, and the SPY put wall is at 660 now. Got moved down from 690 or whatever it was. Now it's much lower at 660. But anyways, QQQ, your put wall is at 570 or 590. I do think same story there. You're rejecting right now on the 600. Probably comes back down to 595. Uses that as a base to either go up or continue dipping down towards 590. But we don't have to rush into anything. There's a lot of puts. There's a lot of dealers out there with puts. If I look at the QQQ range here, let me just zoom in. You can see it. You're literally looking at, playing between 590 to 609. Let's see what we're going to get. I do think it's more likely that once this implied move is already done, you go down towards this area, you go towards a higher bound. Hopefully you get a sweep of 607. I don't know if we get that today or tomorrow, but I do think it's pretty likely by midweek. At least that's what the option data is pricing in right now. They're pricing in like a move towards 607, maybe even higher than that by the end of the week. So we'll see what we're going to get there. US oil, I posted this in one of the summaries in admin, but I do think it's more likely than not that it goes towards, at least in the short term, I mean, not like, for the remainder of the month. And it does go towards that 100 area, maybe 110, 110, 107, whatever it is. I do have a small position on this. Let me just find it. I just have 3 contracts of the 100 and 100p for this week. They're probably not going to hit, to be honest. I do think you're going to bounce around that 113, maybe 110 area. I might roll these for a couple of weeks out from now, or I might just let them go to zero. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. It's a pretty small position considering we made like $800 per contract on this earlier. So I'm not worried about that. I do think it's more likely that this head and shoulder pattern plays out. You have 2 of them. You have one here, one here, one here. And you also have one here, one here, and one here. So let's see which one of those will win. I do think short term it is overbought. And on QQQ, IWM, and SPY, you're short-term oversold. So let's go look at the IWM chart next. I drew this last night. I was using the 4-hour. That's why it's just looking a bit messy, but let me get rid of those. And let's make this full screen so you can see it. Let me get rid of that volume profile because we don't really need it. And here it looks kind of the same story. I'm looking at that on the 15-minute on IWM. You're rejecting right now this local top. Come back down towards 249. Use that as a base to go up or go down. We'll see what we're going to get. I do think that this is setting up a nice inverse end shoulders across like all QQQ, IWM, and SPY. IWM seems to be lagging though. I don't know why that is exactly the case, but it is a bit behind compared to where the S&P 500 and QQQ are. So that's what I got there. VIX, as I mentioned on the admin summary that I posted yesterday, had a shoulder pattern. It probably settles around 20, 21 maybe, and gets rid of this imbalance before deciding to go up or go down. But I do think that this is looking like it's going to settle down here towards the 20 area by tomorrow, if not by midweek. We do have news coming out on Wednesday for the FOMC. I don't know what they're going to price in, but I do think interest rates are paused from going up or down for that's what the option market has priced in currently. If that changes, then I think we can see some big moves on Wednesday. I don't know what the truth is there, but it is what it is. We'll find out and take it as it goes. And then NVDA has some events. So I'm also seeing bids on NVIDIA, Micron, energy and storage names like MU. Gone pretty far up here. So, let's see what we're going to get. I don't have another level on top of this. So I think it's a pretty straight shot towards 470. I might be getting 450 calls for the end of the week, maybe 470s as lottos. We'll see. SNDK, same story. Gapped up, grinding higher. I think you're just going to keep going higher and higher and higher on this one. EWY, kind of the same story because of the news that's coming out this week for the Korean market. And you're also setting up a nice base here going towards 140. Really, that's really where my target is, and I'll be looking to scale out of some of my position there. I've been averaging into this for a month at this point in time, so I do have a pretty nice cost basis, and basically what I've been doing is whenever it comes down between this range, I just try to add more, and then I sell around the 140, 150 area. I don't know if we get that necessarily in this week, but I do think it's going to grind higher by the end of the week, and we'll see where that goes. So a lot of bids on Micron and memory and storage. Let's go look at XLE. Because I want to see what energy is doing. You have their nice left shoulder formed head. Probably you got a right shoulder around the end of the month and then go towards that 57, 58 area. But I don't want to touch anything right now because there's a lot of headline risk and I don't really know what to do and expect there just yet. So we went over IWM, QQQ, SPY, went over USO, seeing VIX, seeing the bids being caught on storage and memory. And NVIDIA, let's just do a recap there because people are curious. They have this news coming out, or they have an event going on. I don't exactly know what it is for the next 3 days, but it's just looking like it's a pretty nice spacing. It's like a cup and handle forming here, right? So you have your cup, you have a channel, and then go up towards either the 186. I don't know if we get to 190, but I'd be curious to see where this ends up. I do think 188 is a good lot for the end of the week, or maybe even if you want to get Wednesday calls for NVIDIA. I do like the 188 strike. There might be a bit of drawdown if you get it right at open, but you do you. There's this gap here that I don't know if they're going to fill or not. 187.5 calls on NVIDIA. Yeah, honestly, I think they probably hit. I don't know when you have them for, if it's today or for Wednesday, but I do think that it's pretty likely that they do hit. And we'll see what we get in 5 minutes. But any other charts people want me to look at? It's look like it's stalling here, so put that open probably and then reverse down from there. All right, the music's coming back on. Let's see. George is optimistically bullish. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Dealers are positioned bullish, by the way. Yeah, fuck off. On QQQ, they're buying dips. I think because of NVIDIA, it's pretty strong there. IWM, they're buying dips. I don't know why. SPY has been range bound, although it says range bound now, but I do think it's going to go up. Let me just reload this. Give me a sec. I do think it goes up. We'll see where it wants to go. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting, to be honest. Monday undercut, like come back down towards 666.57 and decide to go upwards. Did mark these other levels. This is from last week, so you got your Monday mid, previous quarter mid, previous week low, and daily open. So I do think you're going to sweep one of these two today, either the Monday mid or previous quarter mid. And then you're likely going to undercut and come back to the weekly open before deciding to go up towards the 6688 area. So that's really what I'm seeing there. IWM does look weak, but I think it's just lagging. That's really where my mind is at. And they're more affected by the interest rate decisions, right? So like, we'll see where that goes. I do think it's going to roll over. That's what I was mentioning in one of the charts. I do think it comes back down, then creates your nice inverse head and shoulder before going up. But, you know, Wednesday's going to change the outlook for IWM. So I personally don't want to play it, but you do what you want. I do like calls better. I think let them do the undercut here, sweep down towards that 247 area, and then hammer calls for the end of the week or maybe a couple months out. But that's really what I'm seeing there. And Trotter is right. I think it has to do with the junk market, but I do think it's lagging in general compared to the broader market for where we are. Caterpillar looks pretty good, honestly. We'll see where we get. You do have a nice baseline here, so let's see if they defend that area and go up. And we'll open in 2 minutes. I just want to watch the first 5-minute candle and see what happens there. So far, it seems like a rejection of 668, sorry. But if technology is catching a bit, I don't see why I got to be bearish or jump into anything. And I did add this expected move indicator over the weekend, so just to see where the standard deviations are and what we can kind of track. And it looks like we have a move priced in between 658 to 677. Pretty big range, honestly. And the implied volatility here is 23%. So reject here, come back down, and then go from there. And then here's the projected path that I was kind of playing around with. It's still a work in progress, but you'll kind of see where this how it shapes up. And then I put all the different heat maps there to see exactly what the numbers look like. So you have a lot of exposure at the 674 strike for 14 mil. A lot of exposure at 670 for 13 mil. And those are positive gamma events, so I do think it's going to bounce around that 666.57 area, like within that range. So we'll see. And then this will get populated throughout the day. Right now we're rejecting from that negative resistance zone, and there's the change on the path. Go up, undercut, and then rip up. So I do think it's tracking pretty well for how I built it. And here's your update. It's going to be by the dip situation today. So let's see how accurate this is. This is day one of me testing it out, but I do think that's going to be right. And I do have some calls, as I said, for the end of the week. I did get one 600 put just in case we do decide to nuke for whatever reason. But I'm going to be looking to scale out of most of these calls. I think I'm going to leave the 684 ones just because I think they're going to hit more often than not. But I want to exit the 680 calls that I have 2 contracts on. So, and this is on my small $500 SPY portfolio. Sorry, about $100 last Monday. Ran to about $800 by Thursday, I think it was, and then I lost $300 because of the chop. But it is what it is. It is what it is. What can I do? You know, I'm gonna sell 2 of these at $200. If it loads, and again, we don't have to rush into anything. I just want to get the hell out of some positions. Yeah, give me $400 back. And then there's your undercut. Wouldn't have been able to move into it at all. And then I'll wait to get some calls here. I like the 670 strike personally. I think that's going to hit. But I want to get this sub $100 if I can. So we'll watch the first 5 minutes and we'll decide where it wants to go. I hope we get some volume. It's been no volume for the last couple of days. 3 mil, that's nothing. Hey, my 680 calls have been sold. Look at that. I'm happy. By the way, if anyone got Nokia calls with me, they're up about 40%. If you want to take the win, please take the win. They're for June 2027 though, so got lots of time. They're buying Qs, IWM, pin risk. Yeah, I get that. And then I want to see what George does, if he does anything. The thing that's messing me up right now is like the put premiums are increasing. I see it on my phone. These are going up exponentially. Or not exponentially, but they're going up quite a bit. Let's watch a 666 strike. So we just saw that go from 130 or whatever it was to 140, right? So these are going up. I do think it's going to come back down towards this area before deciding to go up. So what we could do is place Georgia Swings update 3 times a day. They update at 8 a.m., I believe noon, and then also at 3 p.m. So they do get updated quite a bit or quite often. And we'll see what we get here. Give me the undercut. And then I want to decide if I want to get some calls. If we rejected that 668, I'm just going to get puts and call it a day and hopefully get 10, 20%, whatever it is, and move on with my life.
All right, folks, some updates here on my end, and good morning to you there as well, Shabs. We are taking an exit currently on NVDA. Feel free to exit currently. We are currently actually a little bit green on that, ironically, depending on your feel ever so much. Same thing with Bitcoin and also on KWIB and Yin. Winds all around on swinging due to China. And a very good morning or afternoon, depending on where you all.
Well said, Tim. Well said. Hold on, I'm trying to exit a position, just taking a long time. I don't know why. Okay, these put premiums are starting to drop finally, but I do think you're going to come back down. I'm just watching for the first 5-minute candle. That's really what I'm waiting for. If it rejects here, which I think it will, coming back down, I'll be interested in getting the 666 puts, and then I'll scale out of them or exit them completely. At like 10, 20%. I'm not looking for 100% today. I'm just trying to get the quick win and move on. Okay, well, at least I made some money there. Nice. Okay, now I can buy a put. I'm gonna get the 666p. Oh, hold on, I'm just gonna wait one more minute, as I said. But these premiums are increasing, which makes me suspicious a little bit. Okay, 30 more seconds. If we close above, I'm gonna get calls. If we don't, I'm gonna get puts. Whoa, some volume hitting. I really don't want to chase it, but I do think the 670s might be a good call. Okay, we close above. I think we're going to close above here. And those have gone down. Great. Okay. I'm going to try and get the 671 strike for $1 if I can. Or maybe $1.10. And actually, I'm going to get it cheaper, ideally. I do think it fills. So I just got the 671 for $1 if I can get it. Stickies. SPY 671C at 100 per con. If it fills. I think it will. I think it fills. I would treat this as a lot. I'm just going to give him 1, and then I'm going to wait and see what happens for the rest of the day. It's Monday. I don't want to do a whole lot. So I'll be watching for rejections now at 670 and then 671.78. Thing is, like, there's no volume again. Market makers are on vacation. Oh, I think it just filled.
By the way, folks, iBid is now in the money. Feel free to hold it or feel free to trim it.
Nice. You got those 46.5 Cs? Was that the one?
We have, let's see, what does one wonderful IBKR say?
Wow, 108%. Nicely done, Timmy.
I've noticed recently that, again, crypto at least currently is moving in parallel for risk on, risk off. So I thought rather than play the indexes for risk reward, I'll just start doing Bitcoin in that or Ethereum. Nice, cheaper cons and higher payouts.
Love it. My order's fill. If you got a fill and it goes up, goes green, just take the win. I'm literally going to try to sell it at 150 and see what happens. We'll try to sell at 150 per con. You're up 3%. Honestly, stick the win, whatever the number is, 10%, 5%, 20%, 50%. I'm going to try 50% here and then call it a day. If it fills, it fills. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What am I supposed to do? And this is what I was worried for on the rejection side. Because there's no volume, I don't think it's going to go up. That's what I'm worried about right now.
There's a lot of volume right now on IWM.
Oh, really? Upside?
Yep. At least from what I can see. No guarantees, but.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Comparatively, the volume is there. I think George was saying 252 calls as well for IWM, so we'll give it a couple of minutes. It really wants to break out. Honestly, it does. And there's your drop on VIX. Coming back down, okay. Still green on these. And I won't cut these unless we see a closure up below 668 on the 5-minute or 15-minute ideally, because now we've seen the first 5-minute print, or now we'll see the second 5-minute print. USO continues to trend down. IWM's going up slowly. We'll see. I don't know. I'd be hesitant on shorting anything unless NVDA is going to dump. I don't think it will, though. It's like that same pattern that I went over a couple times. Up 2, down 1, up 2, down 1, or you can get up 3, down 2, up 3, down 2. So we'll see. Okay, still green on these calls. Nice. If it comes back into,
you know,
like
what
90,
might be
get some more. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, you know what might be a good thing this week on a purely lotto basis? Intel calls.
Intel calls, huh? Let's go see what they're worth.
Just because, again, it can go to 0. It's NVIDIA GTC this week. And I think there's some rumor out there that NVIDIA could make an announcement with Intel in some way about maybe using some of their foundry capacity within the United States.
I like it. I'll get 2 Intel calls right now for at 90 if I can swing it.
And just keep in mind, folks, you don't exactly have to play options. Technically, as the highest payoff, you can feel free to do Intel stock or the Intel leveraged ETF. Multiple ways to play it. But yeah, anytime they hold events like this, there's always a few companies that get some sort of random pop.
I like it. All right, we're up 20% on these SPY calls. If you want to take the win, take the win. I'm going to hold till 50% there. Okay, we avoided a long drawdown there, which is kind of nice. We use our levels, we use our momentum, we use gamma exposure. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do a class on this tomorrow. So we'll go through how gamma works and how I program this. So hopefully it's a good tool for everyone. But as I said, like if tech is catching bids, I don't see the point of buying puts just yet. And you're more likely to reject at 671.65 than you are to reject here. So that's really where my mind goes. We might reject at 670, but I'll be hopefully out of the position by then. Oh, I'm gonna need more coffee. Oh, my Intel order filled. What? Was not expecting that. Up 1%. Look at that. Cool. I'm not gonna touch it, but it's a nice little lot of there.
Zero or hero.
Zero or hero, exactly. All right, we're up 26% on these calls. I'll honestly take the win. I know I say that and no one does it, but it is what it is.
We also have Micron earnings this week, so just be cautious.
Let's see. These contracts aren't hell expensive. Holy shit. Yeah, they are.
Also, don't look at SNDK.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to get some contracts on Micron, but do I want to risk $1,300? No.
No, why do that when you can literally put it on Oklo?
Oh yeah, that's true too. You can get some Oklo.
Well, actually, Planet Lab has earnings on Friday.
Dude, I think they'll hit
Thursday afternoon. Excuse me. But yeah, that I don't see them not hitting. If you want to lotto some stuff, go with Planet Lab. And Accenture puts after.
It's after, so I'll get them for next week. 28C are pretty good.
IWM is, all right, let's go ahead and see here. AP, you got filled on 20%. On SPY, 671 calls, nicely done. Scaled a little. Hawkeye, I know you had some IBIT. I know you probably did pretty well with that. Tesla is a good swing, says Fighter. I agree. IWM is strong, Sean says. Yes, it is. Yeah. So IWM, I saw Shader talking about this earlier. That is small caps. They rally the most. They're also the most volatile. Risk on, risk off. So if you can ever buy at the money at IWM, tends to pay pretty well. Let's see. I wanted to short SNDK hard. It flew. Are you guys on anything like SE? Shabs, what are your thoughts on that so far?
What's SE? Oh, C Limited. I'd be interested in getting called. I don't see the reason for shorting these, honestly. But let me just type this in there. 30C at $1 per con. Okay, we're up 30% on these 671 calls. Please, please take the win. I can't stress this enough. Don't be like me, who's waiting for 50%. You do what you want at 50%, please. Or 30% here, please. I can wait. I can withstand a drop. I can still make a loss of $138. But 30% is a good start to the week. And by the way, just so people understand why I put the limit fill at 150 instead of like 200 is because of the rejection zone here at 670 and 671. So unless we close over that, I don't see the point of setting it for 100%. Oh, I got my 50% done. All right. See y'all later. I can't do anything better than that right now. If I see anything intraday on the alerts, I'll put them into the SPX channel, but we'll go from there. And see the rejection? You see it? You see it? You see why I did it that way? You see why I did it that way? Anyways, take it easy, y'all.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us here today for the George Morning live stream. Feel free to tune in with us afterwards. Enjoy. And remember,